there, fantasy owners. Welcome to LTC Fantasy here. Not sure if you're chiming in, watching via YouTube or listening via podcast, but either way you're streaming, I really do appreciate the support and the watch or listen no matter which way you're streaming it there. We're continuing along with our team previews, and today we're going to look at the Winnipeg Jets. We're going to check out their depth chart according to dailyfaceoff.com. Really do find them to be the most accurate, especially during the regular season there. So we'll take a look at their projected goaltending tandem, defensive pairings, forward lines, mention which of these players are projected to play on different specialty team units to really hopefully help you determine some fantasy value for your upcoming drafts. So we'll get right into it. Goaltending tandem in Winnipeg this year should be Connor Hellebuyck and David Riddick. Now Hellebuyck, he's 29 years old. Last year got into 66 games, so played a lot there. He was 29, 27, and 10. So just over 500. Winnipeg kind of had a little bit of a disappointing season last year. 4 shutouts, a 2.97 goals against average, and 910 save percentage. And the other guy, David Riddick, 30 years old. He went from being called Big Save Dave to really last year he struggled in Nashville. He became No Save Dave if you look at it. He got into 17 games. He was 6-3-4 with a 3.57 goals against average and only an 886 save percentage. So some pretty ugly numbers there. He is better than those numbers I'm expecting, but how much will he play? Because Hellebuyck plays a ton. So Hellebuyck, even though his numbers were low by his standards last year, he's still going to provide fantasy value just based on sheer volume that he plays. So do I consider him one of the top goalies in the league fantasy-wise? No, but he would definitely be in that middle tier just because he does play so much. Tough division they play in with Colorado and St. Louis, etc. there, but he should be still, well, obviously he'll still be fantasy relevant. Just tough division, but he does play a ton, so there is some definite fantasy value there for you. Moving along to defensemen, top pairing should be Brendan Dillon and Neil Pionk. Now, Dillon, he should be on the second PK unit. He's 31 years old. Last year got into 79 games played. He had 3 goals, 17 assists for 20 points. Of that, he threw 212 hits, so really nice hit total there. 108 blocks, over 100 blocks, which is nice. 85 shots on goal. Realistically, not a whole bunch of fantasy value unless you're playing in a banger league or a rotisserie league where you need some hits and blocks there. More hits than anything, obviously. Pionk, he should be on the second power play unit, second PK unit. He's 27 years old. Last year got into 77 games. He had 3 goals, 31 assists for 34 points. So he should be close to that half point per game mark. So he will have some fantasy relevance for you. He'll just be more of a later round draft pick, or maybe a streaming option even in some leagues, depending how many players are drafted in your league. Of those 34 points, 12 are on the power play, through 185 hits, so decent hit total. Pretty good hit total, actually. 91 blocks and 140 shots on goal. The second pairing should be Josh Morrissey and Nate Schmidt. Now, Morrissey should be on the top power play unit. He's 27 years old. Last year got into 79 games played. He had 12 goals, 25 assists for 37 points. So close point total as Pionk. It's just that Morrissey got more goals at 12 compared to 3 there, and goals are usually weighted more. So Morrissey should provide a bit more fantasy value. 15 power play points, 150 hits, 104 blocks. So decent totals there. Not going to wow you or hurt you. Actually, not pretty good hit total. The blocks are where it's not really going to hurt you. Anyways, 173 shots on goal, so nice shot total too. Now Schmidt, he should be on the second power play unit. He's 31 years old. Another 30-point defenseman. He had 77 games played. He had 4 goals, 28 assists for 32 points. 11 of those were on the power play. 37 hits, so he's the one that kind of hurts you on the hit department because he doesn't throw the body very much. But he's over the century mark on blocks, 104 blocks and 117 shots on goal. Third pairing should be Logan Stanley and Demello. Now, Stanley should be on the top PK unit. He's only 24 years old. Last year, got into 58 games played. Only had 1 goal, 12 assists for 13 points. Did throw 131 hits, 100 blocks, 80 shots on goal. So not bad hit and block total. Just the lack of offense. There's probably better options for you in your league for sure, even in banger leagues. Demello, he should be on the top PK unit. He's 29 years old. Last year got into 76 games. He had 1 goal, 12 assists for 13 points. Threw 113 hits, 108 blocks, and 78 shots on goal. Really similar stat line to Stanley there. And realistically, you're more than likely going to leave these two guys alone there. Moving along to their forward group now. Their top line should be Kyle Connor, Pierre Dubois, and Cole Perfetti. Connor should be on the top power play unit and second PK unit. 25 years old. Had really good season last year. 79 games played. He had 47 goals, 46 assists for 93 points. Probably for me the top forward to take out of Winnipeg. 28 of those points were on the power play. 32 hits, 23 blocks. So low in those two categories, but his offense definitely makes up for it. 317 shots on goal, so fired a lot of pucks on net there too. Pierre Dubois should be on the top power play unit. He's 24 years old. Last year got into 81 games. He had 28 goals, 32 assists for 60 points. So really nice bounce back season for him. Are you going to get that this year? Hopefully so. He's young, has a lot of talent there, so he will be fantasy relevant. 19 power play points, 112 hits, 43 blocks, and 233 shots on goal. And the last one's Cole Perfetti. He should be on the second power play unit. He's only 20 years old. Offensive kid there. Only got into 18 games last year, but had 2 goals, 5 assists for 17 points. Then he also played 17 games in the AHL where he put up 15 points. So almost a point per game as a 19-year-old in the AHL. Should translate hopefully to the NHL. Just how soon does it happen? Do you wait it out a little bit? If you're in a lighter league where there's not a lot of players drafted, then yeah, wait it out. See how he performs on that top line. Because he could easily get sent down for some seasoning and conditioning. Or he flourishes and then pick him up as soon as you can there. Second line should be Nikolai Ehlers, Mark Scheifele, and Blake Wheeler. Ehlers, he should be on the top power play unit. He's 26 years old. Last year, 62 games played. He had 28 goals, 27 assists for 55 points. So really nice point total for only 62 games played. 9 of those points were on the power play. He had 32 hits, 27 blocks, and 245 shots on goal. Really nice fantasy option for you in the mid-rounds if you can get him. Same with Scheifele. Scheifele had a really good over a point per game season. Top power play unit, 29 years old. 67 games played. He had 29 goals, 41 assists for 70 points. So just a hair over a point per game. Yes, he's fantasy relevant. He's probably my pick behind Connor out of the forward group. Probably go actually Connor, Scheifele. Well, Wheeler and Ehlers are close, hard to say, but there's some really nice fantasy options anyways as we go through these in Winnipeg. Shut up, Chad, get on with the stat lines. Anyways, of Scheifele's 70 points, 19 were on the power play, 36 hits, 47 blocks, 159 shots on goal. And Wheeler, he should be on the second power play unit. He's 36 years old now. Last year as a 35-year-old, 65 games played. He had 17 goals, 43 assists for 60 points. So 60 points in 65 games. Definitely still fantasy relevant. 20 power play points. He had 62 hits, 37 blocks, and 167 shots on goal. Third line in Winnipeg should be Jansen Harkins, Adam Lowry, and Mason Appleton. Now Harkins, he's 25 years old. Last year got into 77 games played. He had 7 goals, 16 assists for 13 points, 51 blocks, 51 hits, 18 blocks, 67 shots on goal. Realistically, none of those cats really stand out, so you're going to leave him alone. There'll be a lot better options for you. Now, Adam Lowry, he should be on the second power play unit and top PK unit. He's 29 years old. Got into 79 games last year. He had 13 goals, 8 assists for 21 points. 2 points were on the power play. 231 hits. That's where he's going to be relevant for you if hits are counted in your league. 43 blocks, 115 shots on goal. And the last one on that line is Mason Appleton. They lost him in the expansion draft, brought him back. Should be on the top PK unit. He's 26 years old. Last year, 68 games played. He had 8 goals, 13 assists for 21 points, 64 hits, 20 blocks, 98 shots on goal. Again, none of those stats really stand out on you, so you're probably going to leave him alone. And we'll jump into the fourth line. We'll go through them here. Should be Morgan Barron, Dominic Toninato, and Christian Vesalainen. Now, Barron, he's 23 years old, 27 games played. He had 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points, 49 hits, 8 blocks, 33 shots on goal. Again, nothing really wows you there. There's some top-end talent in Winnipeg, but as you get into the bottom 6, you're really going to leave him alone there. And he's no different than Barron. Toninato, he should be on the second PK unit. He's 28 years old. Last year got into 77 games played. He had 7 goals, 7 assists for 14 points. One of them were on the power play. 92 hits, 32 blocks, 44 shots on goal. Again, nothing really wowing you there. Leave him the F alone. And Christian Vesalainen, pretty much the same thing. He's 23 years old. Got into 53 games. He had 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points. 72 hits, 14 blocks, 43 shots on goal. So in the bottom 6, not a lot to pick at. Top 6, there's a lot to pick at in the forward groups. Some decent depth defensemen in their defensive rankings. And that's the Jets pretty much in a nutshell there. Really do hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you want to catch any of the previous previews or after these, well, the previews are done now. Winnipeg's the last one. We'll be coming out with our top goaltending rankings, defensive rankings, and forward rankings, and we'll get into some sleeper episodes, some strategy episodes, and of course during the regular season we have 3 episodes every week looking at different players to help strengthen your fantasy roster, hopefully get you those wins or move you up the standings. So if you did enjoy it and want to catch some future episodes, if you're watching via YouTube, remember to hit like, hit subscribe, remember that notification bell. And if you're listening via podcast, remember to hit that heart, hit follow, depending what platform you're listening on. And again, really do hope you did enjoy it. Do hope this helps you out in your fantasy drafts. Good luck in your upcoming fantasy drafts and your upcoming fantasy leagues. And we'll talk to you soon there, fantasy owners.